Well, hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, welcome. If you love this info, please subscribe. I'm Cody Montarbo, the founder of Montarbo Skincare, always here to help you have the most healthy, glowing, and gorgeous skin possible, regardless of your age, concern, or budget. Today, I want to just talk about retinol. Let's talk, girls. Retinol, I'm getting a lot more questions about retinol because I've been doing more videos about retinol, but so I just want to clarify a few things and just kind of keep you on track and share why I think you should use it the way that you should use it, just so that you get the most bang for your buck. You know, that's always my intention and obsession, is to take what I know and do in the treatment room and to bring it to the consumer in a safe way so that you can get unbelievable results, and then you use your professionals for when you need us. But we really, I think, should be empowering people to figure out how to fix their skin mostly at home, and then they use us when they need us. Or for the people that don't want to figure it out at home, that's what a professional is for. But, you know, a lot of the tips I share are really coming from the philosophy of hands-on experience and technique that we learn as professionals, and how to get ingredients to work a specific way for the client. So I do recommend that you apply retinol on at the end of your regimen at night only. And the reason is because it needs to reach its full potential, and because you're spending a lot of money on retinol, you don't want to put retinol on and then moisturize after, because you just, now think about this. I always say let things absorb, and people give me shit about that, like that doesn't mean anything or do anything. And so I just feel like, well, if that's true, then estheticians shouldn't be estheticians, because that's all we learn is about skin and therapy and technique and massaging and manipulating ingredients. It's our whole industry. So I guess it's all bullshit if what I'm saying is bullshit, because like people will say, oh, you can't, massaging does nothing. I'm like, okay, well then when you wash your face, just put it on and then rinse it off in the shower. Don't touch your face, don't massage it in if massaging doesn't help. So I recommend massaging. I'm on my soapbox today, girl. I recommend the thing, leaving it on or putting on at the end of your regimen, and then also massaging the product into your skin. And the reason is because you continue to work that product all over the surface of your skin, and you're just slowly kind of continuing to use the heat from your fingers and the movement to allow product to absorb a little bit more, especially with vitamin A. Also, vitamin A, retinol in general, retinol is a non-acidic form of retinoic acid. So the thing about it is it's an antioxidant. It's extremely unstable to light and air. So if you're buying one that's like in a bottle or a jar that opens, just know that it's suspicious. It's hard for that product to stay stable and to reach its full potential for anti-aging especially. So typically it's about a 3% of retinol that needs to be used over the counter for more anti-aging. 1% is kind of the basic. That's usually like a retinol palmitate, and that's usually like in Rock, the brand Rock, or even Neutrogena has that in there. And it's a great place to start. I always say, like, start there and then work your way up. So it's always about building like more tolerance in your skin with vitamin A, because it can be irritating. And they always recommend a pea-sized amount, but if your skin is thick or it's oily or you're hard pored, a pea-sized amount ain't gonna do nothing. And because it's retinol, you usually can be fine to use a little bit more or to use it more frequently. And then it's not the same rules applied how to use retinol the same as retinoic acid. Like, retinoic acid is a medicine. It's a controlled substance. It needs to be kind of prescribed and recommended to each client a little differently. Like, that's the thing I'm noticing about all of this industry, is that everyone is being told to use the same products the same way for every skin type. And that's the issue, is every ingredient, every skin type, every person, every goal, all of that needs to be taken into consideration when we're telling people or recommending a certain regimen for that specific client. And I know, like, Clinique started the whole, do I have oily, dry, or whatever combination skin, and this is what I should use, and I don't have to think about it. If you don't want to think about your skincare and you want to use like a little system or a regimen, that's totally fine. But just don't expect. It's like if you went to the gym and only did the treadmill for 10 minutes and 10-pound weights for the rest of your life, you're not going to have much memory, muscle tone, or anything like that. Okay, so it's about trying to step it up as much as possible. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I think that retinol should be put on your skin last, and the reason is because you don't want anything else to minimize the strength of that retinol. So if you put retinol on your skin and then moisturize right after, if that was a 3%, now you moisturize, it maybe it's a 1, 2, I don't know. But every ingredient that you put on top of retinol, or every ingredient that you mix with another ingredient, you dilute the concentration of the active ingredients in those ingredients. So that's why I always tell people, let your stuff absorb. Take a moment, go brush your teeth, put on your socks, especially when you're blowing money, girls. I mean, if you're just using drugstore stuff and you don't really care, and it's not a big deal, you can just slap everything on. Just pour it all in your hand cocktail and put it on your skin. I'm talking about the people that are advanced, that aren't seeing results, that want to see results, that want to figure this skincare thing out. And so the way we figure it out is know what ingredients we're using, when to apply them, how to apply them, and why we're applying them. Now, the thing about retinol that you need to know about is that if you don't use it consistently, like retinoic acid, you're wasting your money, because it's a compounding effect that occurs in your skin through continued usage of the product. So the more you keep putting into your skin, the more and more gets absorbed into the skin, and the deeper it penetrates into the skin. So if you just use it once, twice a week, whenever you feel like it, then you're not getting that product to be pushed deeper into the skin. It's called it's a compounding effect. Think of like interest in your bank, right? You don't just put a buck into your savings account or your retirement fund and expect to retire next week, right? It takes years to compound, right? So the same is true of ingredients. When you keep putting them in the skin, putting them on the skin, they compound and they start to build up. So let me say it this way. If you used retinol as directed, where you're using it minimum, I mean, I say 3 to 5, but in the research it shows 5 nights a week or every night, but you have to get your skin used to it and acclimate to being able to do that. I could do another video if you guys want me to do that again about that and how to do that, but my point is that if you were using retinol as directed and you're using it consistently 5 nights, 7 nights a week, and then you stopped using the retinol, you should have, it depends on the formula, but you should have a few months of that retinol still left in the skin, so you'll still see results for a couple months after you use it, because so much has been put into the skin over a longer period of time. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm losing it. I'm losing you. I say this because I see so many running to get retinol, and they aren't. It's like you have to push through the discomfort of that phase that occurs, and it usually happens in the first 6 weeks. So if you push through that and overcome that hump of that irritation and sensitivity or dryness, and retinol, the great thing about it is it usually lasts even quicker than that. It's usually three weeks, maybe 6. With like retinoic acid, vitamin A, prescription strength, it could take 9 months. So that's why retinol's so great, because it's just more friendly to the skin. But once you push through that like effect that occurs of that downtime, dryness, whatever you want to call it, then that's when you start to see the results. That's when you start to see the stimulation of skin, the flushing of the skin, the dryness goes away, you start getting hydrated and staying hydrated without using a moisturizer, which is really great. I'll leave you with this. Ask your questions below, but if you're using a retinol now that comes in like a jar or a bottle, just be suspicious. Don't expect much. It's going to oxidize, and it's extremely sensitive to light and air. So unless the company's figured out a way to manufacture that, of course they'll say it's in a sphere or time release and all that stuff. But typically it's always in like an airless bottle. So anyway, I know I was all over the place, but a lot of you have been asking questions about retinol. I just want you all to get the best use. Let me just kind of share a little of this as well. If you're new to retinol, then start with something over-the-counter at the drugstore. If you do different, like the over-the-counter prescription, or it was prescription, now it's not, don't expect anti-aging benefits from that. That's mostly for acne, and you'd have to use a lot of it. So each form of retinol and the percentage of retinol and how often you use the retinol determines the outcome. So, like if you were to just go get something from the drugstore and you're wanting hardcore anti-aging, reduction in lines, pigmentation, don't expect much. It's just not going to happen. You need to step it up to a 3% or get a prescription or something like that. But, you know, when you're using like ones that are in a bottle, I mean, it's a minimal effects, I think, for true anti-aging and collagen stimulation. Collagen stimulation occurs in the fibroblast, which is in the dermis. It's the cell that's responsible for the production of collagen. It takes a lot of time. That's why I say keep using it, and you get that compounding effect because you were trying to reach that dermal layer. Well, it's about 40 layers in, so it's going to take a minute, girl, to get into the 40 layers of your skin. That's why it's about consistency. That's why it's about compliance. That's why it's about using it not just when you feel like it, but using it as directed to get the most benefit from it. Because I think that's probably my biggest concern for most of you is you're wasting money and you're not using it consistently enough to actually get a long-term sustainable result from the ingredient. So, have I lost you? I'm so sorry. I love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. The holidays are coming up. I hope that we're on lockdown again, and I'm going to do a get ready with me video after this. I'll share a little bit more details, but I just hope that you and us and all of us are, we say we're in this together. Well, like, what does that mean? It's like we're in this together by being there for each other when someone is not doing well, and supporting and thinking of them and reaching out to them and saying hi and texting and calling and just sending prayers and love to the people that really need it right now, including them in your meditation and your prayers. That's what this means about being in it together. So I am including all of you in my prayers. I'm including all of you in my meditations, and just knowing that we will get through this, and that every challenge is an opportunity, and that this is a time to rise above all of these limitations, these challenges and setbacks, and to really step into our alignment and our power, being able to achieve, I think, greater levels of success in different ways. I think that's what 2021 is going to be all about. So I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon in a new video. Remember to stay gorgeous. Bye.